Hello, welcome to the space between ideas. I was just thinking about Wally. Remember Wally and this cartoon where there's like these big fat people, they just float around in outer space and drink some weird drink. I kind of feel like that because we now have AI to do everything for us, which means that the future, like the future of humans, I mean, for at least a small period of time. I don't know how long is it going to be, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. How many years are we going to be the people who are kind of like in control of the AI? Meaning, right now, AI is basically like you're the manager. You have to learn how to manage, and that's really what my product is all about. It's about learning how to manage. And I don't think my head is actually. I don't think that my head is. I think my ears are. I got one ear is higher than the other because I always get this problem with glasses. Anyways, let's keep it going. Mhm. The other thing is I could block that. Anyways, you're not really looking at me anyways. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, so the keys and tools that I teach are for helping us to talk about managers and management. And that's really what it's all about. What happens? So the main issue is like in high school, like who are the most successful people? And generally speaking, the successful people are those who are able to rally the troops, right? Because in a war, you have to have somebody who's the leader of the army, and in a country, you have to have somebody who's the leader of the country. And all of these systems are designed to have a leader who knows what to do and also can get other people on board, meaning that you have to have some general consensus about what we're supposed to be doing. But that's the same in business. That's the same in everything. It's the same in a family. That's the same. So like, there's always been this idea where if you want to be, quote alpha male, meaning if you're proactive and if you set goals, if you diligently take the steps toward achieving those goals, and also if you're yeah, so if you have, so if we're talking about Stephen Covey, we're talking about being independent. If you're an independent person and you're working, you're able to independently create your own set of goals and then work toward those goals and accomplish them, then you're independent. And then the idea is like, okay, but now what if your goals are bigger? So what if you need help from other people? That's how you become a manager. The manager is the person who masters the ability to resolve certain types of behavioral patterns. And then at some point, they need to rely on the behavioral patterns of others to accomplish the goals that they want to achieve. Whether those goals you create, so if you work for an organization, it's still the same basic idea. You're trying to accomplish some goals. In that case, somebody else gives you the goals, but then you adopt them as your own. And then in some organizations, they give you access to people and resources in order for you to, accomplish those goals. All right. Now, what happens in this world where I am right now? Well, in this world where I am right now, let me just share my screen. This one's supposed to be YouTube. In this little world where I am right now, what am I trying to do? Just check my audio. And then after, good, the audio up. I can hear myself. I gotta stop listening to myself. There. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. So what is this business of AI agents? It means that like I have some work. In fact, I wanted to hire some software programmer. I wanted to hire a marketing manager. I wanted to hire all these positions in my company, but I don't have the cash. So what does it mean? I had to rely on AI. And now it's like, okay, well, you're relying on AI, so just keep it going. Keep it going, brother. Brother man. All right, so let's check it out. So right now you can see on the left side, we completed sprint 4.1. I don't really understand what that was even about. It's in here somewhere. It was about data health. They said it was about data health and hardening. I have no idea what data health and hardening is. I literally spent weeks on this, like running through this sprint. I had no understanding of why. What's the purpose? What is it doing? Why am I doing these things? What's going on? I just had the feeling like just trust the process. So the whole concept of AI first means if you don't really understand what's going on, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just let AI take over. Let it happen. All right. So operational launchpad. So now we're going to activate the user acquisition funnel from the content discovery to email onboarding with the control panel epic complete. So I guess I did some kind of control panel. I didn't do any testing. Like, how do you open up that control panel? I kind of want to take a look at that control panel. Maybe not today. Mm. All right. Anyways, let's get to work. Now, remember, okay, who's this? This person's name is Signal. Okay, we got Signal. And who's this? This should be Webmaster. For some reason, it's just like one of our team members is working on a little side project. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Where'd my Webmaster go? For some reason, Webmaster's name was changed because I'm pretty sure that this is Webmaster. Yeah, this is definitely Webmaster. Wait, that's weird. It just changed. Whoa, I got that on camera, right? Obviously, it's going to be Webmaster's job to deal with this ConvertKit issue. Right, so we got our sprint 5. Good. And then if we go down to Cascade, the last part of Cascade, it says, what do we need to do? Okay, sprint version 5, Operation Launchpad. I don't know what this is. This is poll 35. Why did it disappear? Okay. I also want to bring this one up. It's always saying this weird thing these days. I don't really get it. It's like this thing needs review. Okay. So plan approved and executed. Issues created blocker. Provide ConvertKit credentials and form ID. Post launch backfill existing Supabase leads to ConvertKit. I will incorporate from your decision. Subscribe to a ConvertKit form, not a sequence. Launch a single opt-in with a flag to switch to opt-in later. Capture email only for this epic. On ConvertKit failure, return success to user log on flag into the base for reentry. Added feature flags, testability hooks. Next up, you can review. So we're going to review and quash 35. All right, it's going to be doing the change. It's going to do it's doing the checks. It may take some time for that. Okay. And then I went into architect. So I gave architect a new sprint plan. Okay, so it says that poll is critical dependent is now formally tracked as a blocker in issue 33. AI driven work can be done without ConvertKit. Credentials is complete. The next action must be taken by you, project manager. Review and merge 35. This will officially ratify a plan. Provide convert query. Please update the issue number 33 with the API key and form ID as soon as they're available. This is a primary blocker for the implementation of Sprint 1. Once these two actions are complete, I'll issue the new directive to Cascade to begin the technical integration. All right. So we're going to just let this thing run at its own speed. Uh, and then I passed all this over here to Signal. And so Signal knows what's going on. And then I passed everything over to this guy. So he says, I got to sign up for a convert. Here it is, ConvertKit. Huh. I was actually on this step. Remember, I was on this step like a month ago, and then suddenly I did Sprint version 4.1. That was like 1 month of just craziness. I used to have that mantra like 10 o'clock in Tbilisi for these YouTube videos, and it's not a bad mantra, but I think that now I've kind of changed it to 30 tokens a day. 30 tokens a day because like realistically, you're probably only going to work around between 15 and 20 days a month on coding. And so 30 credits times 15 is, I don't know, 450. So that's your credits. Now 30 credits if you're using Chat GPT 5 high reasoning is 2 tokens, which means 15 requests. You can make 15 requests per day. All right, let's see if we can do this because this has been a real challenge. Okay, let's make this smaller. Okay, create an API form inside a ConvertKit. Go to grow. Grow. Huh, landing page. Create a new form. The inline type is fine. Rename it. Your form. Click on your form. Find the ConvertKit API key. Click your profile icon. Go to settings. Advanced. Yes. Let's try. Developer. I'm just gonna stop sharing. This is obviously not the API key. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna use this one anymore. The webmaster, because the thing is the webmaster, it's like it's not so useful. I was using webmaster for a while because I just needed help to have the patience. Like right now, like I'm being very patient. I'm focusing on like working with ConvertKit, but it's kind of stupid, and it was always making mistakes. Okay, um, let's see. Anyways, I gotta stop sharing because I have to actually take the real API keys. Right, so I just actually I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I can show you. Uh, let's just give it one more second. For security reasons, please delete your last message containing the API key. All right, so I'm just taking the message from. Okay, so it says, please delete your API key. And from this history, immediately, secrets should never be shared in plain text channels. Blocker sprint is now resolved. Kickoff directive. Okay. Eh, mhm. Now you actually can't see the API keys because they're too long, and you also can't see them on this screen. And can you see them on this screen? No, you can't see them on that screen either. All right, let's see what happens. Let's jump back into full screen mode. So I gave the ConvertKit API keys. Here it is. Let's go back into. Okay. So right now we're in Grow. We created a landing page and form. It's called Project Arrowhead Lead Magnet. And then we had to go to the settings to get the API key. So I'm going to put this back in here. This is my webmaster, and I don't know if the webmaster is that useful anymore. It's useful because, like for example, just now, what I can do is I when I'm having a conversation between architect and windsurf, suddenly it's going to tell me to do something. For example, it's going to say go to Supabase. No, we have Cloudflare service. Okay, this goes with GitHub. So this is GitHub. This is where we have our code. This is the Copilot. So sometimes I have some questions, and then I could ask it inside of GitHub, and then it can provide like links. I can just click directly on the link if I have a question. Then we have Cloudflare. So this is where our program is being. This is the server where it's being hosted. Then this is our Supabase, and yeah, this is our database behind. Actually, we're going to be using this system within our. It's connecting to our ConvertKit. That's what that's all about. So, in fact, Webmaster should be here. It should be between GitHub and Cloudflare and ConvertKit. And then at the very end, we have our Signal, which is what I use when I start getting confused. Then I talk to Signal about what we're doing, what's next, and how to move forward. So I have a couple of conversations I want to have. So I want to have a conversation with Signal because I want Signal to have access to like this methodology. This is my methodology for creating objectives, choosing choosing one, and empowering the team. That's really what it's all about. Creating objectives for approval, choosing one, and achieving buy-in and empowering the team. That's what it's all about. But to Signal really need to all right, so but the thing is I don't really have a specific question for Signal. So I'm not really in the process of creating an objective right now. And the process for empowering the team right now is also like it's going fine. So I don't necessarily need to talk to Signal and give it this methodology right now. We're just gonna leave Signal where it's at right now. Webmaster is fine. Sometimes I use the old architect still every so often. Um, but mainly we're just using this architect. Windsurf, I guess technically windsurf would be on this side. This is our website. Our website would be closer to the beginning. Project Arrowhead is definitely at the beginning. And then this is our vortex. Recently I've been having like some discussions with one of the guys that I talk to. I can call him a student or a coachee. And we're starting to use this. I see what's missing. Is it the same? Is it exactly the same? And then Tom's book, launch. So if we go back to the product launch roadmap concept, what you can see is who are your established competitors, who are the innovative competitors, who are the substitutes. And then you're going to kind of create like what are the elements of the value proposition that these companies provide. And then that way you can gauge what the value of your product in comparison to the leading companies. And you can look at it from the perspective of like why are people using a substitute rather than an established competitor? Specifically, what's the element of the value proposition that they're utilizing from that substitute? And then you can think about innovative competitors. Usually, they're going to have some new elements of the value proposition which don't exist in the established competitors. But then you have to understand like established competitors, meaning best practices. You have to understand best practices and what are the leaders and why. These concepts are integral to the idea of my website because if we go to the step one of the brainstorming module, what you see is that we're talking about like the first step to innovation is to understand the landscape. Look at what competitors, industry leaders, and even successful entities in other fields are doing. Identify current trends is key to seeing the opportunities. So this concept, it's like it's drilling down on both the like why are the established competitors? Why are they in the position of power? And it means that because they're doing something right. And then what are the trends? So who's trying to shake up the industry? What's happening in the industry? Why is it important for us to see what's changing? And then substitutes, it means like, okay, well, maybe people they don't know about the opportunities there are to use this product or service. So the key is that the first thing you need to do is you actually have to write them down. Who are your competitors? So although this is not necessarily, I mean, these are some typical competitors in my industry. The issue is that I kind of have a new product. My product is like a little bit different than so if you say that my product is a consulting, it's like it's helps people to do consulting, to give advice, then yeah, then maybe it's like McKinsey and Company, maybe it's like Boston Consulting, maybe. If you say it's a to-do list, then yeah, it's like Asana and it's like Monday.com. So you can see that the concept here is that if you don't have like a true competitor, then you kind of have to like you have to see who's currently a potential competitor. Potential competitors are, well, you can see these are two different elements. So one of these elements, as you can see, Monday.com and ClickUp. So this is the scoreboard concept. It's a to-do list. So you got my fingers on the wrong buttons. And then, okay, who's helping you to understand what objectives to pursue? All right, exactly. So you can see that these two up here, Monday.com, ClickUp, that's up here. So that's one element of my Asana. You could even do ClickUp if you wanted to. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't fit for some reason. All right. And then the other one is like the brainstorming, a process whereby managers can create objectives and then work with their team to carry out those objectives. So the assumption here is that like that's what McKinsey and Boston Consulting are doing. That's the concept here. Do none of these stick? Looks close enough. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, why am I listing them here? Because I'm trying to create I want to create a new concept that maybe people haven't thought about before, which is that first of all, these arrows have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Um, the concept is that the Porter's three forces, as I'm showing them here, these are just listing the competitors based on the element of the value proposition. But at some point, you also have to understand the concept here. So, like as I always talk about, like, okay, so you have your on the left side, you have your product or service. Okay, so that's what I just explained, the elements of the value proposition. Then on the right hand side, you have your marketing and sales funnel, the salespeople. My argument is that you could also use Porter's three forces to understand this a company a company's marketing. What do I mean? I mean like so this is actually a different student. This is a lady that's doing an MBA right now, and I'll just delete that. We were talking about a business idea in one of her projects. All right, so here it is. So how are the established competitors, the innovative competitors, and the substitutes designing their messages? You see? So it's not just about designing your product, but it's also about designing your messages. All right, so for example, the elements of the marketing's message. Okay, so the elements of the marketing message is value proposition, a promise, a psychological elements, personality. I mean, we can add more things to the elements of the marketing of the message, the hook. And then we go into like the real messages, like the real marketing messages that are being produced by these companies. And then we start to like try to understand them. Because we're not just competing based on the the products that we're producing. We're also competing on the messages that we are deploying. Okay, so that's what we're doing is we made a list of the established competitors and then what here's some innovative competitors. And then down here we got the substitutes. Now, in this case, I'm not really sure exactly what we're going to do with that. Anyways, the point is that now, so you know how we have the business growth engine for my business. This is what we're basing our concept about, like our sales funnel. The idea is like now we want to choose one of these companies or all of these companies, and we need to draw out their sales funnel, draw out their like how do they design their marketing because we need to be able to put our message in like we're competing in the message world. We're not just competing in the product world. See, a business, we have two basic ideas. Business. Number one is what got them to you to try your product the first time. This is obviously a marketing message. It's a marketing message that gets somebody back, gets someone to your product the first time. And then the second time, it's the quality of the product. Or, I mean, you could go deeper and you could talk about the hook and how you need external triggers until it creates a habit. But anyway, so what Vortex needs to work on right now is needs to create some business growth engine for some of the competitors so we can analyze the sales funnel for from other companies, specifically our competitors. Okay. All right, so I got a bunch of secrets stuff I gotta do, and so I'm just gonna stop the video now. We'll join with you later after we have this step finished.